Let's say you fell into a new industry, you know nothing about that industry, and you had to market in that industry and you wanted to get immediate results. What's one of the first things you would do to prepare yourself? Who might you look at? You'd look at the champions. What are the champions doing? What are the industry leaders doing? I have this thing for Ralph Lauren's email program. It's a bit of an unhealthy obsession. They're industry leaders. I want to talk to you about Ralph Lauren and Gucci and what they're doing. So watch this.
Content from real people equals instant credibility for your brand. Consumers today crave real connections with real people, and they're guarded about who they'll trust. Highly polished, branded content simply doesn't cut it anymore. Let MiniSocial build a network of powerful micro-influencers around your brand who all know and love your products. They'll create something compelling that resonates with their audience and deliver it directly to you for use across all your marketing channels. Yeah, that includes ads. Meet millennials and Gen Zers where they're already hanging out, in the feeds of their favorite influencers, and get started with MiniSocial. It's all killer, no filler. I'm Eric, this is the D2C podcast, and we're back with Jordan Gordan from Pilothouse's email team. He just told me that if we talk any more about inboxing, his head will explode. I think we've been talking about inboxing the past 4 or 5 sessions. It's a critical issue, but today we're going to lighten it up a little bit, have some visual implements in this podcast. So you might want to check this out on our YouTube channel. So just search D2C newsletter on YouTube. We will also be linking to this in the show notes, but we're just going to go through some emails and talk about what's working, what looks good, what doesn't. Jordan, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much. As a side effect of going on the podcast and talking about all the inboxing stuff, all the leads that came in were all inboxing problems, and we're helping a lot of people right now. Maybe now I can draw on some people who want some fun designs and do a different kind of work. So this is just some stuff we're working on right now, and I just always like to kind of whatever we're working on. It's just easy to come and talk about it. So we'll talk about 3 different kinds of emails. There's many kinds of emails, but we'll just talk about 3. And the first 2 are things we see all the time. We do all the time as well. We'll explain them. But then we'll talk about how that kind of relates to a third kind. And then we're going to do visuals for it. So first kind of email, lots of you have this in your program. It's just like single destination. So imagine, look, it's often full design. So you're using Photoshop or whatever, and you're making a beautiful piece of art. And that beautiful piece of art is just one big fat finger-friendly image. Someone clicks, you go to the destination. And the nice thing about that is it's just like really easy to optimize. You're either changing the creative or you change the destination URL, right? Because it's just one thing happening. And you know what? Like if you had to pick any page you wanted to send someone to, like gun to your head, you're going to send them to a category page. So, it just gets rid of all the distractions. Hey, we send them to the category page. Category page does its job. Maybe you optimize the category page by changing the default sort order or something like that. But it's just so simple, works all the time. So we're not going to talk about that one today. I just basically described it, and you should be using that, obviously. Lots of campaigns. Use it for lots of campaigns. Just really simple. And, of course, you can do it with HTML as well, but then you've actually got to put that same destination in lots of different times and lots of different buttons, so it's easy as with just an image. Okay, that's this like super simple one. And then we'll juxtapose that with another philosophy for an email, which is making a content-rich category page in the email. We have discussed this, but let's just break it down really quickly. We do 2x2 dynamic blocks. So, it'll just like automatically load 4 bestsellers or 4 trending or 4 recommendations. So imagine if you do 2x2 blocks, 8 products. That's a category page, right? Right in someone's inbox. And then you include with it big emails, some brand marketing, product marketing, maybe how it's produced, where it's produced, the kind of materials, guarantees, warranties, reviews. You just make this amazing email where someone is shopping right there in their email. They don't even need the site. And when they're ready, they click right through to the category page. This works wonders at the right time. It's great for automated emails, browse abandons, and things like that. You can do it with campaigns. It's just a lot of work. So you do it for a really big thing, like a sale or something like that. You wouldn't do it for just every Joe campaign. much heavier lift and can do better. But you got to keep in mind, sometimes that simple email will actually beat it. Because if you've got the right destination figured out, all that extra work, it looks nice, it's great for the brand, maybe. But as far as performance, you can beat it with a single destination, right?
It's an interesting point because I hear of either, keeping things very simple or trying to tell, and transactional, and then also, trying to tell your brand story, trying to build brand equity, all these things. This suggestion is sort of, you're combining both of these opportunities into one, where you've got a transactional, you can shop here, also learn a little bit about the brand, sort of a smorgasbord.
Yeah, well, so this second thing is, it is a content-rich category page. Imagine it's just a page on your website, right? Okay, so listen, those two things right there, we do a lot of those. Full design, simple destination, it's just, right, and optimize that really simple click flow. Content-rich category pages that are part of the conversion funnel support, and you're driving, or actually any automated email. It could be like post-purchase or a reactivation. And people are shopping right there. Something else that I want to discuss right now that is just an amazing time saver, make your life easier. It's something we do some of. I mean, if I had my way, we'd do more. But ultimately, people want what they want. If those big, rich category pages, they are beautiful. They are exciting. People do love them. But I want to share now. Have you and I already had a discussion on Gucci and Ralph Lauren? Have we discussed them before?
Not really, no.
I have this thing for Ralph Lauren's email program. It's a bit of an unhealthy obsession. So I want to talk to you about Ralph Lauren and Gucci and what they're doing. So first, let me prime you with a question. Let's say you fell into a new industry, you know nothing about that industry, and you had to market in that industry, and you wanted to get immediate results. What's one of the first things you would do to prepare yourself?
Well, I'd research the industry. I'd want to know everything about the industry.
Who might you look at?
I'd Google the industry. I'd look at their website. I'd look at their ads, their catalog, maybe.
There, exactly. The champions, right? You'd look at the champions. What are the champions doing? What are the industry leaders doing? And when I told you the two things that we do a lot of because it works and people love them, right? I'm going to show you what Ralph Lauren and Gucci are doing. They're industry leaders. So watch this. Yeah, let's talk about this Ralph Lauren email for a second, okay? It's a simple HTML email. When I say simple, I mean simple. Look at this thing. What do? They do not do a header and a menu. It's boom, directly into full bleed hero shot. And then simple text, an HTML link as a CTA, doesn't even have buttons, right? And you can see that I'm showing you the light mode and the dark mode here. This light mode, this is like, it's a very attractive, simple, minimalist email. The dark mode still has this like dunny kind of off black, which we're going to talk about in a second, how to fix that. So let's just ignore that. I hate that dark mode color. Let's just ignore that for a second. But look at the email. So now let's imagine that you are the CMO of Ralph Lauren. Ralph Lauren is the second largest clothing retailer, clothing designer on earth. You can buy Ralph Lauren pretty much anywhere but North Korea. So if you were the CMO and you could afford anything, why would you pick this template?
My guess is because they put so much effort into their imagery, and is that they just want it to really stand alone. They're just making it all about, like, they put all their money into the modeling and into the styling, and so they just want to make that the hero of everything, as simple as possible.
That's very good. Sometimes I hear people say, which is crazy, I hear people say very often, oh, well, they've got a great brand, so they don't need to put effort into the email, which is crazy because no CMO gets that high. I've never seen a Ralph Lauren ad that's not perfect. No CMO gets that high and then goes, oh, all these ads are perfect, but just do whatever you want with the email. Never happens. So there's a reason. I like that reason. The reason you've given is very good. Let the imagery do the marketing. What we're talking about here is great for anybody who has strong lifestyle or on-model imagery. Now, you can do this same thing with just product imagery, but obviously you're going to, that would be basically an effort-saving device. I wouldn't say it's an industry-leading approach. But if you have strong on model or lifestyle, it's an industry-leading approach. Also, I'll add that this email is incredibly easy to work with. You just drag in pictures, you go and you update the text. The text is just live text. You just edit it right inside Klaviyo. We have templates like this in Klaviyo. It's just like so easy. And it's actually so easy to edit, you don't even need Klaviyo. I've sent myself one of these, kind of just messing around, getting things for presentations and stuff, and there was something wrong in the text, and I just click reply on my phone in Gmail, edit the email, and then email it to myself, and it's updated. So the template is so simple that you can actually edit it in the Gmail client. So additionally, it's easy to use, and because it's so simple, it's going to render appropriately everywhere. You're not going to have this weird, like it's so simple that you're not going to have all these weird problems. Oh, it looks horrible in this thing, and this thing goes over there. It's just a single column of text with some images in there. And also, I don't have access to Ralph Lauren's metrics, but I'll bet this email also performs really well. I'll just bet, or they wouldn't do it, right? Okay, so the only thing on here that I didn't like was this. Look at this. Look what dark mode does. When you put white, which is hex FFFFFF, when you put that into a background, dark mode turns it into this weird, gross, off black. It's not even black. It's like some kind of dark gray, right? And it's just the way it works. So let's switch to Gucci. Talk about Gucci for a second. There's a couple things to point out on this email. First of all, this is dark mode. I start with dark mode. So dark mode, it is white. And now we're on light mode. Light mode is black. Light mode's the normal mode. So they have made it it's hex 000000. This is a pitch black email. And when dark mode swaps pitch black, it turns it into like a kind of a creamy off-white, which isn't really that bad. When you look at this, it looks nice, right? So first point. Some other things unrelated to our point here, but that are interesting is look at the buttons. Like Gucci's really doing something different here. These buttons are full bleed. The button is the same color as the background. It's left aligned. It's the weirdest button I've ever seen at scale. I mean, I've seen some weird buttons on weird emails, but this is Gucci. They're making.
Show me a button. I actually don't even see what the button is on these ones.
Listen now is a button.
Where is it?
Right there. It says listen now. Watch. Listen now.
Oh, interesting.
Explore Beauty, it's a button. They're doing something very designy and kind of artistic with the email, right? It's memorable, it's different, it's noticeable. But if we skip to that and just focus on this light and dark mode background, here's the deal. One, if you make your dark mode light and your light mode dark, someone who's on light mode is going to notice, hey, there's this dark email. Someone who's in dark mode is going to notice, whoa, this email is white. So it's going to stand out. And you're not going to get that weird, ugly, dunny kind of thing. So what you want to do, if you can do this at home, let's get playful here. This email is easy to make. It's easy to work with. It's easy to update and revise. I'm sure it performs well, or these guys wouldn't be doing it. It's very simple. I mean, I'd focus on the Ralph Lauren one. This one's got a bunch of a little more complicated stuff. The Ralph Lauren one is dead easy. It's just you're not doing any weird stuff like product blocks. It's just going right to the category page, which we discussed is what's killer. So you can do this at home by just taking single column, no header menu, two colors, only two colors in the HTML, black background, white text, and you just do hero shot, few sentences of body copy, hyperlink CTA, hero shot, couple sentences of body copy, hyperlink CTA, repeat it through the email, and you are going to have such an easy time marketing yourself that, you know, if you think there's any sacrifice you're giving compared to those other emails, sure, maybe there's a sacrifice, but this could completely outweigh the sacrifice. I'm sorry, my kids are running around. So
no, it's okay. They're great examples, and I'm just looking at the Gucci, like the fact that you say there's a lot going on in this. They still keep it so simple, and so like even like the buttons are not, you know, they're not big juicy red buttons. They just look like they're part of the text. So they've done a really good job of even adding complexity to a template, and then keeping it really dead simple. And I love the tip for hacking dark mode. It's a constant on the Pilothouse Slack. It's there's a lot of war between the dark, the night mode and the light mode people as to like where they like their interfaces. So if you can throw them a little like curve when they're expecting a light mode, they get a dark mode, and you can control the parameters so you're actually getting the colors you want. Great little tip.
Yeah. Well, look, I should go because I got the kids running around. We're just wrapping up here in Bulgaria, and then we're going to start heading back to the Western Hemisphere. So maybe the next time we talk, we'll be in the same time zone. Yeah?
Sounds fantastic. And if you're out there, just go take a look at Gucci's, subscribe to Gucci, subscribe to Ralph Lauren, look at what they're doing, come talk to Jordan about something other than deliverability, and he'll love you for it because his head's going to explode on helping clients hit the inbox.
Yeah. All right.
Where are you going to be in the Western Hemisphere?
We're flying into Mexico, and we're going to just, we're just traveling around because the boys are young and they're not in school yet. And I'm 45. It's now or never. So we'll go there for a while and then we'll see what happens.
Amazing. Well, we'll catch up with you then. Thanks for coming on, Jordan. Thanks for listening to today's episode. If you're not getting the D2C newsletter, you can subscribe for free at directtoconsumer.co. And if you want to learn more about Pilothouse's all-killer, no-filler services, take off to pilothouse.co. I'm Eric Dick, and this has been the D2C Podcast. We'll see you next time.